Rey Fenix is speaking out against AEW. In addition to that, we got some returns confirmed from AEW, and we got some announcements coming from the AEW All-In media event. And yes, we're going to talk about that free agent who showed up, very surprisingly, somewhere other than WWE. All right, guys, first things first, I want to kick things off with Starrcast because it's been revealed today at the Countdown to All In media event. Starrcast is returning. Conrad Thompson announced it himself. Tony Khan also confirmed that AEW stars will be in attendance. Now, I am not being paid to promote this. I am specifically just doing this because I genuinely loved my experience at Starrcast. I've gone to two Starrcast events, Chicago and Vegas. It is not an AEW event, right? It is independent from AEW. Unless that has changed, it continues to be ran independently away from AEW. But the nice thing is, there's not that many wrestling conventions. This is a convention for pretty much all of wrestling. And I think if you like the opportunities to network with people, meet other fans, meet wrestlers, meet people, meet legends, like all those things you can do at a Starrcast event. I was very, very happy when I got to experience Starrcast in the past, and I feel like it just adds a lot of fun to the weekend. It is very clear that AEW All In is going to be AEW's WrestleMania. That's what they're building towards, and I think Starrcast being involved for that weekend is actually really good. Like, if you guys aren't considering going to Texas, but you want to go to Texas, let Starrcast kind of be the driving factor, right? You go for Starrcast. There's obviously going to be other indie shows and stuff happening around the same time, but you go to Starrcast, you could go to those indie shows, and then you can go to the stadium show for AEW All In. I just think it's a win-win-win for everybody, and usually it's not that expensive either, so that kind of makes it even a little bit more fun. Let's talk a little bit about Pentagon Jr. Penta, El Zero, Miedo. He has surprisingly returned to AAA Lucha Libre television tapings. He came to the ring. He led the fans in a Cero Miedo chant. He cut a brief promo. And obviously, AAA is now promoting him. Obviously, the reason why we're talking about this is because later we are going to be talking about Rey Fenix. And Penta was kind of, everybody's thinking, hey, what is Penta going to do in the meantime until he goes to WWE? I think it is very safe to say that more than likely he will only be working AAA. Doesn't mean he won't show up in TNA. It doesn't mean he won't show up in Indies. But for the most part, I think it is safe to assume now Penta is going to he's going to AAA. And then when Rey Fenix is free and clear, I fully expect the Lucha Bros to be in the WWE. Obviously, there is a lot to discuss with that, so we will discuss that shortly. But just keep that in mind. We will get to that momentarily. Back to the Road to All In event. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Khan, he brought out Big Justice. He brought out Big Boom AJ. And this is actually really cool because I feel like AEW needs to continue utilizing these guys. They have confirmed that they will be back in the ring with AEW. And more specifically, Big Boom AJ has revealed that he will be participating at AEW All In live, which is very exciting as well. Now, this is a very big deal for AEW because if you don't watch AEW or you don't know AEW, these guys are going to bring eyes to AEW. Also, it just turns out that Big Boom AJ actually knows how to wrestle. And the match that he had with QT Marshall, it generated a great response. It generated a lot of views. It generated a lot of talk. It generated a lot of things for AEW. And the crowd was on fire, and it was just a pre-show match. And then it also helped that Big Boom AJ actually knows how to wrestle because he used to be a wrestler a long time ago. He had a dream of making it. Obviously, that never happened, but this guy is a marketing genius, and I just want to be very clear on that. He is a marketing genius. Tony Khan bringing in guys like Big Boom AJ and Big Justice helps AEW. It might not be your cup of tea, but if you want AEW to grow, you have to do things like this in order to grow. This is one of the reasons why WWE always has celebrity involvement, and they have gotten way more strategic and way more smart about how they do it. This is something that Tony Khan can easily learn from WWE, and I'm glad to see that they confirmed the return. And I just want to be also very, very incredibly clear here. If you are somebody who is truly against this from happening, just understand that there is no harm in AEW. There are so many more negative things we could be discussing about AEW This is not one of them. This is definitely not one of those things to be concerned about. This is not one of those things where people have to be upset about, because there's other issues in AEW that need to be fixed. There's other problems in AEW storytelling that needs to be fixed. There's backstage things that need to be solved in AEW first. Them using TikTok viral stars is not an issue. I don't care if you call it WWE Light. I don't care if you call them, they're not an alternative. At the end of the day, AEW needs positive press, and AEW needs momentum, and they need to get new eyes on their product, and you have to venture out and do things differently. And I also started to realize that a lot of the people who don't like this particular act, those same people didn't have an issue when Snoop Dogg or another celebrity showed up in AEW. Shaquille O'Neal is another example. So I think more people just don't like them because their content is cringe. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter, cringe or not. It's going to generate a conversation, and there was a lot of viral moments from Full Gear. Now let's get to the drama. This is why AEW needs positive press. This is why AEW needs good stories coming out. This is why AEW needs to move forward with some serious momentum. This is why AEW needs to improve their product, because at a time like this, there's the Ryan Nemeth CM Punk drama being talked about again. Now Rey Fenix is coming out on Twitter. And the thing is, Rey Fenix responded to Dr. Chris Featherstone, who came out and essentially said, I'll just read it to you guys. I'll just read it to you guys. Dr. Chris Featherstone, PhD, the guy that we've talked about recently, he's been dropping some reports. He came out with a tweet the other day to refresh your memory. He came out with a tweet yesterday. He says, I received information from an AEW source on November 20th regarding the Lucha Bros status, but did not report it as I was waiting for one of them to begin speaking their mind about the situation. I was told that it was coming. I was told that day that Penta's contract was soon ending with AEW. Rey Fenix did just that. He spoke his mind, so here is some intel I received. The alleged excuse that Tony Khan found out about Lucha Brothers being in talks with WWE is fake news, and the real reason will be revealed. There is a huge story behind the situation with Rey Fenix, which is a huge injustice. Expect the Lucha Bros to go more in depth about their time in AEW when they are free and clear to do so, and when they do it, it's going to be ugly. Now, Rey Fenix actually had responded to this. So he says, so far this is the most accurate comment. And he says, unfortunately, due to my contractual issues, I cannot speak now, but I will have my time. So that was what we saw yesterday. And obviously there's not that much that could be said. Now, a couple days ago, let me just remind you, Rey Fenix put out a tweet that says no one stays in a place where they received inhumane treatment. He didn't tag AEW. He didn't tag AAA. He didn't tag anybody. But it was very clear at that moment when he tweeted that out, he was talking about AEW. Now, what kind of inhumane treatment is Rey Fenix talking about? That is a big question. Early today, Rey Fenix comes out with a tweet and says, I needed a doctor and you ignored me for months. Again, not tagging AEW, not saying anything, but it is very, very, very clear that Rey Fenix is speaking out publicly about his issues with AEW. And it's very clear with his response to Dr. Chris Featherstone. More than likely, Rey Fenix will be detailing this more. Now, again, this is why AEW needs positive press. This is why AEW needs to get some serious momentum under their product. The numbers aren't looking that good. The product is very inconsistent. And then you have people talking about the drama surrounding your company. It just really hurts the perception of the company. I want AEW to succeed. I don't know what sort of inhumane treatment Rey Fenix is talked about, but a lot of people are posting the clips of CM Punk talking to Ariel Helwani, where he says for months and months and months he received no communication and didn't even know if he was employed by the company. So I hope that is not what is happening here to Rey Fenix, but we will see what obviously transpires. Rey Fenix is speaking out. I'm not picking sides. I will never pick sides in a situation like this. And as I have said in previous videos regarding the drama surrounding the Lucha Bros and AEW, Tony Khan, I understand why he's doing what he's doing, because it is a business. It's the same reason why I understood WWE doing what they did, because it is a business. At the same time, too, for Tony Khan, I think at some point you have to wonder, is all of this negative perception towards your company worth it? And it's hard because if Tony Khan says, hey, go ahead and leave, we'll let you go. Well, he let William Regal go, you know, and then you got other people who might look at this and say, hey, I want to leave too, and then they're just going to stir the pot on social media. I mean, Tony Khan's in a very interesting position, and it's a difficult position. We'll see what happens, but we'll see how ugly this truly gets.